In the far northern seas, sailors once encountered a vessel that should not have existed, where ice drifts endlessly and silence dominates the horizon. It moved without wind, without sound, and without life. Its sails were torn, its hull frozen solid. This ship carried no signals. No voices, only the unmistakable presence of something abandoned by time itself. When the sailors finally drew close, they saw the ship's name carved into the wood, nearly erased by frost and age. The letters read Octavius. No records explained how it reached these waters. No crew answered their calls. The ship floated as if guided by an unseen hand, defying both current and logic. The Octavius had originally departed from London in the early 1760s. A merchant vessel bound for China. Its journey outward was successful, its cargo delivered. But on the return voyage, the captain made a decision that would seal the ship's fate, one driven by ambition, pride, and the promise of a shorter path home. Rather than sail south around known waters, the captain attempted to cross the Northwest Passage. At the time, this Arctic route was barely understood and feared by experienced sailors. Maps were incomplete. Ice moved unpredictably. Many believed the passage was a graveyard for ships. As the Octavius entered the Arctic, temperatures dropped rapidly. Ice closed in around the hull, grinding against the wood day and night. The sun vanished for long stretches of time. There were no rescue ships in these waters. What began as a calculated risk slowly transformed into a fight for survival against an unforgiving environment. There were no rescue ships in these waters, no settlements, no way to send word back home. If the Octavius became trapped, its crew would face the cold alone. Somewhere in this frozen expanse, the ship's forward motion ceased, and with it, the hope of escape. What happened next was never recorded in full. The logbook would later suggest the crew endured months of isolation. Supplies dwindled. The cold worsened. One by one, the sailors likely succumbed, not to violence, but to the slow and relentless grip of the Arctic. Years passed. Ice shifted with the seasons. Somehow, the Octavius broke free and began drifting again, carried by ocean currents. Storms came and went. With no crew to guide it, the ship became a wandering relic moving silently through the frozen seas. In 1775, nearly 13 years after the Octavius disappeared, a whaling vessel spotted a ship ahead. It moved strangely, against the current. Curious and cautious, the crew prepared to board. Unaware they were about to step into maritime legend. The moment they climbed aboard, the silence was overwhelming. No footsteps. No wind through the rigging. Below deck, they discovered the crew perfectly preserved by the cold, frozen in place as if time itself had been suspended. In the captain's cabin, one figure sat at a desk, unmoving. His hand still held a pen above an open logbook. The scene suggested not panic, but sudden finality. Life halted mid-moment by the extreme cold. The final entry in the logbook was dated 1762. This meant the ship had been drifting unattended for over a decade. No one could explain how it stayed afloat, or how it traveled such immense distances without a living crew. Terrified by what they had found, the whalers took what little they could and left the Octavius behind. They feared the ship was cursed, or worse, a warning meant to be witnessed, not disturbed. The Octavius drifted away once more into the Arctic fog. No further sightings were ever confirmed. It vanished as quietly as it had appeared, leaving behind only stories passed between sailors and historians. Some historians believe the story was exaggerated over time. Others argue it is entirely true. Either way, the Octavius became a symbol of humanity's limits when faced with nature's indifference. Unlike mythical ghost ships, the Octavius required no curses or supernatural forces. The Arctic alone was enough. Extreme cold, isolation, and time did the rest. Today, the Octavius remains a chilling reminder of unexplored ambition. A ship that completed its journey, yet never returned frozen into history itself. To sailors who heard the story, the Octavius became more than a mystery. It was a warning, a reminder that ambition, when pushed too far, could end without drama or noise. No final battle, no rescue, just a quiet ending, written slowly in ice. In the end, the Octavius did not sink. It did not burn. It simply vanished, leaving behind one of the coldest mysteries ever to sail the world's oceans.